Really privileged to be here at iMedia presenting with Jamie from Nationwide. Really exciting when we have clients coming with us to these events to talk about some of the benefits they've actually derived from an attribution platform. So today we actually covered with Jamie some of the implementation aspects that he went through and ultimately what they were able to derive from the attribution platform. But initially when Jamie came to us as an attribution vendor, he had been previously using sort of a rules-based attribution system and was looking for something a bit more sophisticated that was model-based, that was a bit more precise and ultimately a bit more actionable. But to give you more detail around that, I'll turn it over to Jamie.
Market attribution was a great challenge that we needed to solve, mainly because of the outdated tools that we were using. We didn't really know how to optimize our media. And so what we wanted to do was find a solution that would enable us to better understand how things were performing and really more of an advanced model for us to use when we're making those decisions on how to shift money between the different channels and tactics and placements. And so it's been a great partnership, working with Visual IQ. I would say, working with an attribution process, you really need to have kind of three stools of the pillar. Those being the company itself, so Nationwide, our partner with Visual IQ, and also our ad agency. As long as all three of those groups are on the same page, it's going to be a successful partnership.
One of the benefits you get from an attribution platform, I think, fundamentally, it's a measurement. You're trying to solve for a measurement problem, but then, as you point out, there's an optimization exercise that you have to embrace to take these recommendations, put them in market. But the recommendations themselves are kind of broken up in two categories. There's what we call inter-channel recommendations. So the impact of TV on search or display on search. So at that level, how do I optimize my portfolio to drive the best result? And the other part is what we call intra-channel campaign optimization. So within display or within search or within email, what are the levels of optimization I can change in order to drive the most amount of impact for that campaign or for that spend? Working with Jamie and his team, one of the key things we started off with is generating what we call an implementation roadmap. Every client has a different set of paid, earned, and owned channels at work. And typically what we try to do is figure out where to spend the most amount of energy to get the most amount of impact, organizational impact. So one of the things we worked with Jamie on is figuring out that implementation plan. So focusing on just the paid channels and then the owned channels was a key part of the first two steps, where we integrated in display, search, and some of the owned channels components. So ultimately, that is key. Part of that is to make sure that we drive and collect all the data from his ecosystem, from the Nationwide ecosystem, that ultimately gives him the most comprehensive view of what is happening within that portfolio. So it allows us to run an attribution model on top of that data to understand how users are engaging with the Nationwide brand, both from stimulation all the way to response and conversion. But using that information, using that sort of as foundation is ultimately what we help to ultimately give him the insight and the recommendations he's looking for from a cross-channel basis.
One of the other things that has been great with working with Visual IQ is measuring some of our high-profile events. For instance, we just had an ad that ran the Super Bowl. Prior to the ad, we ran some kind of leaks of the commercial to try to get the word out there through different social media channels. So having Visual IQ to measure the impact of how those leaks or how the paid media was performing through social media has been phenomenal. It's really helped us better understand how they're interacting, how people interact with us, ultimately coming to our site and learning more about our company. It's been great working with Visual IQ. We had a dedicated team of Visual IQ during the implementation process. I really felt that from the beginning they needed to understand our business and understand what our goals were and how we were in the market to buy media. And I felt like that was a quick ramp-up process. They really dived in quickly and learned our company, they learned our business model and kind of how we went to market. And so that made it much more easy for us to quickly integrate the Visual IQ attribution system and optimization into our company.
One of the things we stress about as an attribution vendor is to truly drive attribution success really takes three components. There's technology, there's process, and there's people. And I think having pioneers, attribution pioneers like Nationwide really drive that whole aspect in terms of adoption. As Jamie pointed out earlier, they actually started with an attribution platform 12 years ago. So to kind of advance that means that as a company, they're embracing it and truly understand that it's really more than just a measurement problem. There's measurement, but then the actual asset that you can embrace and utilize from the platform really comes down to optimization and really driving material changes in terms of the impact both on the top line as well as efficiency.